Howdy, folks. Widget Walls from needcoffee.com here. Take that off your hands. Buckled up. So we're here for another... Oh, covering the screen. We're here for another Wayhomer review. I'll tell you how that works in just a second once I'm secured. As secure as I ever get. Yes, we're back again for another Wayhomer review. Here's how it works for the uninitiated. I have just left the cinema. It's over that way, where I have seen a film, and I'm going to tell you about that film on my way home. And today, we're here to talk about Now You See Me. Probably not with that inflection, but that works. Okay, so synopsis. Synopsis is this. You have four hustling magicians who are pretty damn good at what they do, but shall we say, not anywhere near the top of the pecking order when it comes to the world of magic. And they sort of get tapped to be a part of some grand scheme that they themselves don't even know all the shot about. That is going to be a long, extended, multifaceted, multi-part magic trick that will blow the minds of the world. And it involves heists and more heists. And balloon animals. And that's pretty much it. There's your synopsis. Because I mean it's a heist caper film with magicians. That's pretty much it. Now, first things first. I will say that pretty much from the get-go, I like this idea. So you'd have to work pretty hard to screw this up because I like caper and heist films. And I like magic. And I like the idea that, I'm sorry, I was giving directions. We're going that way. We're going that way. I don't know. I'm holding the GPS in my hands. We're totally lost! Alright, so yes, I like all of the stuff that's involved with this. So, because I've always said, if Darren Brown, mentalist extraordinaire, decided to turn evil, how would we know he would have hypnotized all of us into forgetting that he was actually a supervillain? And then he and Ricky Jay would fight, and it would be awesome. But anyway, so I've long thought that would be, interesting. And so here is the film that's going to do it. And to make the deal even better, they've decided to put together a pretty kickin' cast. Jesse Eisenberg, who is quite possibly the best arrogant young prick actor in the world. I mean, Social Network and stuff like that. Even in Zombieland, he was still a young prick, but not as arrogant. So he is like it's the go-to young prick, I guess you would say, in Hollywood. You also have Woody Harrelson, who I love, and Mark Ruffalo, who's basically, on my gold list for Avengers. And then you have Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman. And you have Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman in the same scene. Twice. So really, this film has a lot going for it, even before we talk about, plot and characterization and stuff like that. It's pretty much, to use the term, loaded the deck. But you can have all of that and still be crap. So how does it work? Well, I mean, considering that it's a caper film, it's a heist film, and it's got magicians in it, yes, if you go into this and you're like, I want to see realistic magicians, and I want to see realistic plot, and I want to see stuff like that, it's like, okay, well, you probably didn't like, Ocean's 11 either. I mean, the new one. Not that they had magicians in that, but you get what I'm saying. There's a certain suspension of disbelief that comes from caper films, because part of the thing of a caper film is that everything pretty much always goes right for the quote-unquote bad guys, right? And the fun is in watching them pull it off. But, just like in a Tom Clancy novel where all the military technology works, and in reality I think it's like 30% just stops working before you even start in real life. But you don't want real life when you go to one of these things, because a caper film in real life would be really horrible and depressing, right? Because halfway through the big job, they would all be gunned down and, set on fire. And that's probably real life, right? So if you go to this film expecting real life, you're going to hate it. However, if you look at it as again, sorry to use the term, escapist sort of fare, where you just go, okay, my brain's off, you got a good cast, you got a good concept, roll with it, I think you'll be fine. Because yes, some of the magic tricks sort of make sense, but they sort of leave some of them in the wind, which is fine. And yeah, if you really wanted to think about it, it would be stretching it to a great degree. But that's okay, because I'm here watching all of this stuff happen. That being said, I still like the idea of watching, quote-unquote real-world magic. There is such a thing, but you know what I'm saying, used in this sort of scenario. But for the scenario here, where you've got all this crazy stuff going on, and all these heists taking place, and then, Morgan Freeman not, on through the wormhole, basically still being on through the wormhole, around to explain it, and he's explaining it in Morgan Freeman's voice, which automatically makes it true, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed this, but Morgan Freeman can alter reality with his voice. Don't test him. So all of that works, and I really didn't have a problem with much of anything. I mean, when everything's wrapped up and you put a nice little bow on it, you go, okay, yeah, that's sort of stretching it. But I've talked before about how films can build up, I forget, I don't know that I've actually termed, did I come up with a term for this? I don't remember. For now, we'll call it bullshit capital, where they can earn credit that they can then spend at the end of the film, and so that you're having so much fun, you don't go, oh, it's bullshit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think this film pulls it off. Now, again, that's why I wanted to tell you where I was coming from with this film. It was, the cards were stacked in its favor, from the get-go. So I was this is exactly in my wheelhouse for the sort of film that I would like to see, and like to see pulled off well. But I think they did it. Now, this is the sort of thing where it's leaving cinemas, but I just wanted to catch it before it went away, so that's why I'm reviewing it here. But I would say if it's still around where you are, and, obviously you can, catch it for the cheap, because it's probably in a second-run cinema, hopefully where you are, yeah, go see it. If what I described to you sounds good. If all you're in for is you're like, well, Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman in the same scene, that sounds awesome, I don't know about the rest of this, then yeah, go ahead and wait and rent it. But everyone else should probably see it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was just, it's not, it's not like you look at this cast and you think of, well, it's not like Inception where there's a lot to think about, and I don't leave the theater going, wow, I must chew on that for a while. No, it's not like that. It's not serious at all. It's completely, entertaining. What a concept, Hollywood. Thank you. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Now, cup-wise, I don't know. I would say that for the sheer film itself, I would say probably 3 cups, but I'm willing to give it an extra cup because I sort of enjoyed myself. You know what I mean? There's liking a film, and then there's actually going, oh, that was actually entertaining. I actually felt like I was entertained for the money that I spent. And these days, it's a lot of money to spend, so you should be fairly entertained, and here I was fairly entertained. So yes, so 3.5 cups, I think, is the verdict on this, and I would go, why is that funny?
That's an extra half a cup.
I know, I gave it an extra half a cup.
You said an extra cup.
Did I?
I'm pretty sure. I'm driving, so I'm not.
She's drive.
Sure
You're supposed to, don't get us killed. Anyway, so the point is, 3.5, whatever I said, 3.5 cups is the verdict, and done. So yes. And, so yeah, I think that sums it up. I would say thank you so much for watching these Wayhomers. We appreciate everyone who does, and who takes the time to comment. The intelligent comments, obviously. Yes. And as always, do us a favor. If you've enjoyed this, if you've taken something away from it, if you were mildly entertained by all my inadvertent magic puns, then, because I really didn't mean any of them, honestly, because this is all improv, then please take a moment and go for the twofer. That's where you take 2 social media networks that you're on, and you're all on 7 at least. Be honest with yourself. Do it and share it on 2 of them. and we would appreciate it. So until next time on the Wayhomer Reviews, this is me saying bye.
Do you want to give a shout out to Ricky J? Because he's too cool just in general. Or Darren Brown. Or
I already did.
awesome.
I wanted them to fight. I want to see Ricky J. I want a combat video game like Mortal Kombat, except with magicians. So you got Ricky J throwing cards, and you've got Darren Brown. What would be Darren Brown's distance attack?
He would look at people.
He would have
Look at people and then
he would have the Darren Brown
him a
version
candy
of the
bar.
Care Bear stare is what he would have.
Yes.
That sounds terrifying.